I'm Jason Moody. I'm with RGV Media Group, and really, really excited to be here to talk to you a little bit about your role and how you really started to be an actor, especially here in Brownsville, Texas, and your background. So we'll do some introductions. I'll go ahead and introduce, if you want to introduce yourself.
My name is Franco Israel González. I'm a teacher here at Brownsville, Texas. And I've always had a passion for acting. So when the opportunity came out 3 years ago to be a part of this project, it was something that a part of me was like, nah, like grow out of it, don't try it out. And then there was another part in clip. My wife, who's like a shout out to her, big MVP. She's the one that pushed me to it. She's like, I'm gonna film you, your audition. We're gonna get this together, right? And then we're gonna take it out. I'm like, well, it's something that I always wanted to try. So the opportunity to have done this, and now we're here looking back 3 years. Now it's incredible. It's like really,
Yeah, exactly. And we're here to talk about Borderline, which is the movie. It's an action thriller. It was filmed in different parts here in Brownsville and Washington, D.C., and don't know what other locations, but to really, really hone in on the location here in Brownsville, Texas, really, really sets precedence, especially since there's so much activity going on. Brownsville is being more and more every day placed on the map in so many different things economically as well. And you star in Borderline, opening scene, and that's really, really exciting to see that really. Talk about that. Like, how does it feel to like be in that specific scene, that moment, and really set that stage?
well, first off, I'm like beyond grateful. The Obviously when you're filming, um, you do have an idea of the script, and I was lucky enough to be able to read the entire script before filming, but I didn't recall that it was going to start with one of
I was
us.
gonna ask, what did you realize it was gonna be like the opening scene, or
No,
that were
no, I
that
had
the
no
script made
idea.
note of?
And the cool thing was that the movie came out, and I had people already seen it, and they were telling me about it. But I was waiting. I was gonna watch it on Friday, like at 7, because my wife prepared this little watch party with our family. It was something very nice,
Uh-huh.
and I was already getting text messages telling me from neighbors who have seen it, friends, and they were telling me, "Oh, you're as soon as the movie starts, you're in there." And I'm like, "Oh man, I didn't know that." But honestly, like again, pretty much surreal. The idea that not only did I get the opportunity to begin the film with one of my scenes, but also like just through the promotion side of it. I remember they had a website, and the website's still live right now. Watchborderline.com. You go into there, you click on a trash bin, and there's a video game
Oh wow.
from my character, and
Okay.
and the
So
just
it's
a fa-
interactive.
yeah, yeah, it's an interactive thing, and it's an online video game, and just the idea of seeing myself as a video game, and that they chose my character to be part of the video game, again, beyond
Right.
grateful. It's surreal. It's really hard to complete levels on it. I tried already.
Yeah.
But I've been playing it pretty well, and that, and then just seeing myself at the beginning of the film, I was again beyond grateful, and especially because I guess I could speak in behalf like of like actors. I know we have one of our actors here as well in the studio. We're super self-conscious sometimes when we're filming, right? We're always our toughest, harshest critics, and like so again, just the opportunity to have all these blessings in a way. Yeah, blessings. I'm really grateful for it.
A Brownsville native, product of the school district,
Yes.
graduated from Porter, attended UTRGV. You have your Bachelor's of Arts and your Master's as well. You're a teacher back at where you graduated from. Shout out to Porter High School, and you teach social studies there. Two different parts of the spectrum, right? So you're teaching social studies, and then you have this other um, attribute of being an actor, or you having that dream. Um, you know, talk about that, the two different sides of the spectrum there.
Okay, perfect. So first I did go to UTRGV. I got a degree in kinesiology, and I remember that I was really a passionate for coaching,
Hmm.
especially soccer, and from there you brought the idea, right? Okay, to be a coach, you got to be a teacher if you want to be teaching in the high schools, or coaching in the high schools. And I've always loved social studies. U.S. history, everything. So I was really blessed to be given the opportunity by Ms. Mary Solis.
Hmm.
God rest her soul.
Yes, great principal. I actually got to work with her
Yeah.
for about 4 or 5 years, and a very, 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 very lovely lady to work with.
No,
Yeah.
an incredible person, and she gave me the opportunity to. As soon as I got out of college, I was blessed enough to get a job. Especially you go back to your alma mater, your high school. I was what word? Man, I'm already really bad with my math, but
It's okay.
I was 23
Yeah.
at the time I started teaching juniors. So it was a real experience where I'm like, okay, now I'm an adult. Like it was a real growing up moment. And as the years have passed by, I mean, I've grown into liking the teaching part of it as well, the coaching, everything, and then this opportunity came out, right? And when it came out, I remember that I decided to submit as my middle name, Franco Israel, without the Gonzalez part. I think we had talked about it
Yeah,
earlier.
because you're credited in the movie Franco Israel, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Well, that my middle name, and I remember the reason why I did it is because at first I wanted to separate my two, I guess, my passion for the acting and again, or the craft of acting and my personal,
your identity.
yeah, my professional career and my image as a teacher, right? I didn't want to blend those in, especially because I knew when I read the script that I was going to be doing in this film, which again, I don't want to be spoiling stuff, but
spoiler alert.
yeah, I'm doing a lot of stuff that it would not be condoned for a teacher to be doing, right? So I really wanted to keep those two things separate.
Sure.
Funny thing is that as the story came along together and as the film came out and it started to reach audiences, I felt that I could connect a lot of my experiences teaching with what the character was going through.
You
Now,
teach social studies, so how did that prepare you in any way for the film? In that some
yes and no, but it was not necessarily the subject I'm teaching, but it was mostly the student population
Okay.
that we have. I was really inspired by a lot of the problems they sometimes go through, a lot of the issues they have. It is true, especially growing up myself in Brownsville.
So we're talking about you being a teacher, teaching social studies.
Yeah.
Did that prepare you in any way for this role in this film in Borderline?
Well, at first, more than the subject itself, it was mostly the student population that I teach. It is true. I mean, I grew up in Brownsville. I attended Porter, so gang violence was something very common. Weirdly enough, it was more common when I was in high school than right now, actually. But it's still something that goes along, right? So, and many of these issues are problems that are not addressed, right? Like at their homes with their families of all these students. So one thing that was very, I guess it kind of inspired me to try to bring to the light a little bit more honesty towards why there's gang violence into this role. Of course, my character has very little lines, so it was a lot of physical movement, a lot of facial expressions that had to be kind of done, to portray somebody that has more problems than what they kind of let out. But yeah, I mean, teaching was something that at first kind of helped me out a lot to kind of see different points of views of different people. And at the end, I mean, as I said, right, I wanted to keep the two things separate, the acting from the teaching career and my professional career. But somewhere along the line, they kind of intertwined where one thing was actually complementing the other.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm still credited, right, by Franco Israel. I mean, also kind of like the Israel is my middle name, but it's also my late grandfather's name.
Okay.
So that was also something nice to just keep it, kind of to honor him. But
and I think also,
yeah,
besides being from Brownsville, being attributed to being bilingual or bicultural, biliterate, which helped with this role because it's a bilingual film as well, and kind of helps tell a story too of what's going on during these times, right? So a couple of years ago, there was a lot of movement going on, and so with the story, it's basically tells the story also of what's going on, in reality as well, and there was a review already that it's entertaining and that it's maybe going to be dividing some of the audiences, at some point too. So, but it's a film that everybody should watch. It's streaming right now on Apple TV and Amazon. It's in select theaters, and talk about how that's that how it shaped you, from 3 years ago now to person.
Okay, yeah, for sure. So the way it shaped me, this film, was that as the years went by from where we filmed to right now, like this
was filmed when? Wait,
2023. So it was
so
May
3 years ago.
2023.
Okay.
Yeah, so 3 years ago, a lot of things have been lining up in our society, right? You see the news, you open up social media, right? That does have an indication of some like immigration issues, of some like stuff that has to do with violence, and all of this that creates fear in people, right? So the topics of the film from when we filmed it to now, they're more relevant to today than ever before.
Yeah, and some topics, and
Yeah.
for those that are watching us and listening, gang violence, politics, right, and the agendas of immigration and law enforcement and manipulation of certain things, right. So that's kind of a little some ideas that that are in the
Yeah.
movie, and so but did have you already seen the film? Did
Yeah.
you see it this
Yeah.
past weekend
I've
or?
seen it twice
Okay,
already.
yeah, just for those that are watching us, it went public on July 17th, and in the next couple of weeks we'll be doing some promo work here in Brownsville, a press conference with some of the cast, crew, and directors, and then the first Friday on August the 7th, we're gonna have a private screening, but also we'll have some of the community members meet you all, and then we'll be at Broken Sprocket on August the 8th as
Yeah.
well. So those are some things we're going to be promoting and looking forward to. So um, anything else that you want to add? I mean, something that you learned from the movie that you want to kind of share with us?
I mean, I kind of just want to talk to some of the experiences, especially because I know that some of the people might see us, right? They're young actors,
Yeah,
right?
of course.
And like just the idea of at first you're working with such a professional crew, like the director
Yes, Ryan Jordan
Ryan
is the
Jordan.
director, right? And we have the producers, Marisa Arguello, and some other folks. And the movie's about an hour and a half long,
Mhm.
so it's a good movie to sit in and watch. So
Yeah, and of course, like first it all started with the great with an incredible script by Jeff Cohen, which is our producer as well, our executive producer. Incredible screenplay. You could just right away when you're reading the screenplay, you could see the violence, right? And then it just worked its way onto the department, right? It went to all the way from our casting directors, which was also Marissa, who she portrays Melina.
right.
She portrays Melina in the film, and Ryan Jordan, and it was such a collaborative environment. Like honestly, like at the beginning, and there's something cool again for young actors, just kind of like how things shape different because sometimes the self perceptions that you have of yourself may not be what other people think of you. So at first, I kind of just again, my wife pushed me, right? She's like, "You're gonna do this, right? It's something you've been wanting to do it." Uh, at first, I just submitted as an extra,
Oh, okay.
and then they got back at me saying that if I wanted to audition for any role, right? So I did read the roles that they had, and funny thing enough is that the role that I was like, okay, this is one I'm not gonna audition for was Pepe, which is my role. I'm like, I'm not gonna audition for this because this is completely the opposite of what I am as a person. So I ended up auditioning for Diego, actually at first, because I'm like, okay, Diego is a little more calmer, a little more kinder, right? Which, by the way, Dominic does a great job in the film with, right? And they got back on me telling me, okay, this role's taken already, but we want you to, if you can like read this, they send me part of the lines, and they're like, can you read for Pepe? We're still wanting to look for Pepe.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, okay, I guess I will, right? I did it. And next thing you know, I got a call back, and then in the call back, I did it again, right? And this time it was kind of like a live thing through Zoom.
Okay.
And afterwards, it was they told me I got the role, right? And at first, I couldn't believe it because it's the complete opposite of what I am as a person, right? So I did struggle with that at first. And then some of the stuff I love about acting is just the preparation side to it, right? They gave me some hints, right? They didn't tell me specifically, but I remember our casting director, Marissa, and Ryan, our director, they were telling us, okay, Jeff, he wants something specifically for Pepe, right? They want Pepe to be like this imposing figure, right? They want him to be like someone that you're walking down the street, right? And you kind of like walk to the side because he's just an imposing person, right? Right away, the first thing I thought, I'm like, okay, I'm an actor now, so I'm gonna like gain some weight. So I actually ended up gaining 15 or 18 pounds for the role. I don't remember, which was the easiest thing ever, right?
Yeah. Here in the Valley, you can't go wrong.
Oh no, like honestly, like
from
yeah,
tortillas or the Mexican food or anything like that. So
yeah, it included some heavy lifting, right? Heavy lifting so I could feel stronger, right?
Yeah.
But man, afterwards, you were looking at right, like wings, burgers, pizza,
Sure.
ice cream, man, iced coffee. It was incredible. Honestly, I had like the best 3 to 4 weeks of my life in there.
Had you played any other roles besides this one in Borderline, or was this something? Is this something first? Is this a first role for you
It is.
in this level?
I had done like local student project films
Okay.
for some friends,
Yeah.
whether they were in the university or they wanted to try something else, right? I remember there was one that was really awesome. It was kind of like this zombie thing, right? And it didn't come out, right? But this is like the first big major production I'm in, right? So I wanted to take every single little bit of like a chance to just enjoy the moment, right?
Mhm.
So like even when I was gaining the weight, I'm like I'm enjoying the moment. I'm enjoying the moment. Even when we were working with dialect coaches too, because I had a tough time struggling. Like and I'm my harshest critic when I see it. Right, I'm like, oh man, come on. Uh, I had to sound like somebody who didn't know English.
Okay.
So like I'm super fluent with English.
So
So
have to have an accent, right?
yeah, kind of like that cutting thing, right? Or you're thinking too much before you're saying something because you're trying to process the words into English. And the cool thing is I had a great scene partner for the most part. Lucia, she's my scene partner. She really like she fed off of what I was giving, and she was just like bringing a lot of intensity of her being scared, right? That just a shout out to her, like an incredible performance that I even believed it. When the director would yell cut, the first thing I would be like, "Hey, are you okay?" Just
Did
making
you
sure.
have to do a lot of takes, or
Yeah,
I mean, or just
yeah, we
couple
had
of
to.
them, or like 2, 3, and then or like 10 or 15 or more than that? Or
Oh
what was your
yeah,
average take?
our average takes they went in from like 4 takes at first, but then we were sometimes going up to 10 or a little bit above the takes.
That's bad.
So I remember like I would always lean in a lot, obviously when my scene partner, and as well I was leaning a lot with a lot of the people in the back.
Yeah.
Because I said that when I got there, like I'm okay. I already did the work, right? I was preparing. I gained the weight. Which it took a long time to take off. The easy part was gaining it. The hardest part was taking it off.
How much time did it take for you to participate in the film, or like as far as your role in
Oh, honestly, I just filmed 4 days.
Okay.
But there were long days. They were like we're looking at 12-hour days, right? And again, just the experience, right? We're there. I get there, right? I'm trying to get in the zone mentally, right? I'm listening to like corridos, narco corridos, anything that I believe my character will listen to. Try to just get in the mental zone. Trying to look as mean as possible, but like it was really hard because like the people were so awesome. Like I got to set, it was like I was in Disneyland, right? I would go in with just look at the audio, the people working the audio, the people working at the cameras, and just like stare at them like what they were doing. So it was something really awesome to be a part of. And then again, I would lean in a lot with Marissa, our casting director. She actually was working with the actors, helping us out a little bit. Arad and Dante, which are two of our assistant directors.
Mm-hmm.
They were also great to lean on, especially in those tough scenes where like I needed to look mean, right? They were really good at like just hyping me up. And of course, our director and our screenwriter producer Jeff Cohen. And Ryan, she's like the director Ryan Jordan. She's actually super awesome in like relating with the actors. She's like one of those, you know how they say like a player's coach, but she's like a director's like an actor's director. Like she knows how to work, with you specifically. So again, all of that was just incredible.
Also local talent that's in the film too, from Brownsville.
Yeah,
right.
Definitely.
Franco González, and then Diego Hernandez as well, and any other that you. I think there's some. How do you say it? What are they called? How do you say it?
The crew, or
not crew, but not stand-ins. Or they like if there's any other actors that are kind of not backup. What do you call them when they're backup?
Oh, extra supporting. Oh yeah.
I'm like trying to think of like extras. Like
No, honestly, there is a lot of talent actually. I know for sure. Like, and again, it's a huge shout out, right, to everybody that took part of this, right? Acting wise, you had Dominic, you had Luis Acevedo, who's a good friend of mine as well. He comes out in the film. Mm-hmm. He's one of the gang members. Mm-hmm. We have Israel, even though he's from Harlingen. Mm-hmm. He plays Mateo in the film too. So we do have a lot of local talent, especially right here, Oscar, who plays Detective Delgado as well. Yeah. So like a lot, there is a lot of good acting here in Brownsville. And I know I'm gonna hit myself later on, against the wall, because I know I'm forgetting a lot of names, right? Right. Because like even our trainer Porter, again, a shout out to her. she comes out in an extra role, and like a lot of people from the community just came out to be a part of this film. And a cool thing about it was also that we have a lot of great crew as well. There's a lot of talent. It's not only on the screen. And like for sure, like sometimes I would see it like myself outside in the behind the scenes. I would see, okay, the actors that were participating from Brownsville,
Hmm.
and I'm like, okay, man, these guys are awesome, honestly, and like very super talented. But then you also see the people working behind the camera. So I know for sure Luis, our audio guy, right? He incredible. And then he kind of like just fit in well with the crew that Ryan Jordan brought in
Hmm.
and Jeff Cohen brought in, right? And like he just integrated himself well with them, and they were working incredibly.
That's great to see. I think the collaboration, but also the chemistry. If you have a director that has great chemistry with the cast, the crew, then it's going to be a success in the long run, don't you
Yeah,
think?
no, for
Right?
sure. And then you have also, I haven't even talked about our cinematographer Donovan. So again,
Well,
like
at the beginning of the film, as soon as you watch and you see your role or yourself at the opening scene, just the cinematography of it all, I think it's really really impressive. So I mean, I'm gonna give it two thumbs up already. I haven't even seen the film. So going back to the cinematography,
yeah,
your opening scene, it's you know, it's, I would give it two thumbs up already. I'll finish watching the movie and then kind of talk about it a little bit more throughout the weeks leading up to the events that we are going to be joined in with other cast and crew, and even the director will be
hmm
here August the 7th, which is first Friday, and then August the 8th
yeah,
with Roca, the Performing Arts Academy, Brownsville Performing Arts Academy, as well as Broken Sprocket. So we have some events that are coming up that we're going to start promoting, and hopefully we'll get to see you and the rest of the cast and crew and just talk a little bit about the experience. Like we are talking about, Brownsville has great talent. We are living in a great city where we have great food, great people, and just great atmosphere. So, one thing before we kind of segue out, what's one thing that you would take away that you want the viewers to remember this by?
okay, perfect. So there's actually like two different things, right? The
Sure.
first one is the viewers watching the film, right?
Yeah.
Like just at first I kind of had I've watched it twice already because the first time it was kind of like, okay, you just want to see, okay, how did I do? How did everybody did, right? Like that. And then the second one, I paid more attention to the story. And upon a second viewing, it does raise a lot of questions, right? It does raise a lot of questions of like a lot of stuff that, man, I'll bring it back. Of course, not going too much into detail, but as a teacher, right? Stuff that we see every day, right? We
Mhm.
see how like some immigration issues has the families of our students being worried sometimes about sending them to school. Even we have a lot of students, they cross the bridge from Matamoros, and like it's a fear that they have, right?
Mhm.
And again, like if you ask me honestly, like if you talk to me outside of here, I'm like the least political person ever. I would never talk politics or personal views or none of that. Actually, I always try to stay away from politics and news, is like, which is weird because I'm a social studies teacher, but I always try to stay away from politics as much as possible. But it's things that you do see that affect every day, especially like our community. So these questions can be raised through there. I know there will be some divisive
Right.
opinions on the film, right? But again, like it does raise questions, and it kind of brings interesting conversations to the table, right? About, okay, what does this mean, okay, or how can we try to approach different situations, to
Yeah.
to come up with better solutions, right? Again, I'm not a politician, so I'll be the last person to give opinions on solutions, right? But that's what the film is, right? But the other side of it is like Brownsville, right? You said it yourself. We have a great event coming up in first Friday. I think the event starts since Thursday, right? Since Thursday, I think there's a press
Yeah, we'll have a
conference,
press
and
conference announcing the film here and introducing some of the local talent. First Friday's the following day on August the 7th. And then on August 8th, on Saturday, there's a workshop at the Brownsville Performing Arts Academy, as well as joining us at the Broken Sprocket
yeah,
for some live music, but also some entertainment. But also just to kind of get to know some of the cast and crew that were in the film. Um, once again, Franco, thanks for joining us. Thanks for
for sure.
talking to us a little bit about the film, but your experience and kind of talking about the experience that you had, your journey, your background. So really, we really appreciate the time that you had. And again, Borderline is streaming online on Apple TV and Amazon and in select theaters. So help and support the film and the efforts of it all. So really appreciate it. Thanks a
Um,
lot, Franco, for
Thank
joining
you.
us.
And again, help and support local film.
Yes,
Brownsville,
exactly.
great locations, beautiful culture. right? We have talent here, right? So again, people, if anybody's watching out of here, they want to come and film in Brownsville, like give us the opportunity, right? That's all I'm saying.
Exactly.
Not only as an actor, but even as people from the crew or as a city, give us that opportunity because, again, I don't think they're gonna regret it. Like this crew that came in from Washington D.C., they left in love with Brownsville. So I know like if more projects are coming up to Brownsville, and not just speaking on behalf of myself, but just speaking on any young actors out there or any older actors or any people that just want to work in the film, whether it's on the camera or behind the camera, there is talent
No,
here.
I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to it. I mean, this is I think this is just the beginning of it. Like they say that this is the tip of the iceberg, right?
Yeah.
But I think this is just the beginning of what is to come, more to come.
Yeah.
And again, Brownsville's it's being placed on the map. In different areas from arts or education, technology, and economically. And so I think it's something to look forward to. And wish you the best of luck, Franco. And thanks a lot for
Oh,
being with us.
thanks for having
Okay.
me. Thank you.